Hello, everyone, and welcome to Frontier Opening Bell. It's Wednesday. It's a Thursday. Pardon. Thursday, February the 6th. Of course, yesterday, the 5th of February, was a big rally. That's where the figure of 5 is coming from. Look at the 5 exchanges we cover on a daily basis for you, all settled in the green territory after the global stock markets begin to recover from the initial knee-jerk reaction on Monday to President Trump's tariff salvos to hit Canada, Mexico, and China, as well as other raft of executive orders that he's throwing about at different agencies and all of that in the US and around the world, the war in the Middle East and all of that. So there's quite a whole lot to discuss. So the equities markets beginning to stabilize, as it were. Look at the GSE, the biggest exchange on the continent, did 0.18% on Wednesday, much bigger, roughly 1.2% on Tuesday. So the market's coming back with some measure of confidence. The VIX index, as at the end of yesterday, the 5th of February, was in the red by about 5.87, about 7 p.m. Nigerian time. The VIX index, BoU VIX index, was about 16.20. So the fear index is receding, but there's still a bit of a concern. So the flights to safe havens into assets such as gold and silver continue very rapidly. Gold now heading just a few steps away from $3,000 an ounce. The Nigerian market was very strong yesterday, roughly $20 billion in total transaction value, led by the banking industry, bringing more than 3% to the table. The BRVM in Cote d'Ivoire was better by 13. The Egyptian stock market still looking to grab the 30,000 back for the EGX 30, was up by 0.25%, a roaring 1.73% for the stock market in Nairobi. Again, we're showing a couple of positive earnings from some of the listed names on that exchange, the Kenya Power PLC, as well as East African Breweries, which is cross-listed across a few markets within that region. So that's how we finished off Wednesday, by the way. So today is Friday, is the final trading day for the markets in Egypt, if you follow the Frontier Africa very well. Let's move on. Let's grab a couple of headlines to start the new day. Kenya Central Bank, Dr. Kamal Thugge, lowered interest rate from 11.25% to 10.75% on Wednesday because inflation is tapering and is looking to support the administration of President Ruto trying to walk its way away from the raft of problems that were there for last year, from the deadly protests that attended or greeted the Finance Act of 2024, the new budget, the borrowings. There are a lot of other issues around the economy. The Bank of Uganda is what we're looking at today to hear from the Deputy Governor of the Bank of Uganda. We'll expect that on the table later today. In the meantime, Kenya is reporting mobile money transactions at about 8.7 trillion shillings for the month of December. That's the backward-looking data for the last month of last year. Afrexim Bank is strengthening strategic ties with Tanzania, while Kenya and other East African power pool countries are prepping a new set of regulations for regional power auction market. We'll see how this goes. It's a bit of a fallout from the just concluded Africa Heads of State Summit on Energy Mission 300 that was concluded about a week ago in Dar es Salaam. Then, of course, don't forget that the IMF president, Kristalina Georgieva will be suspected in Addis Ababa from February the 8th. So keep that in mind. Towards the end of the week, she'll be meeting with the authorities, Prime Minister Abiy and the rest of the team on further engagement with Ethiopia following the country's reforms across the various sectors, including the financial services and the new stock exchange. Those are the headlines. Base Titanium has lost that deal or that tax dispute with the Kenya Revenue Authority, 23.3 million shillings. That's just give you that as well. Let's just move on to West Africa. Nigeria has raised the headline, the top figure for the headline figure for its budget for this year to 54.2 trillion naira. President Tinubu is adding additional about 4.5 trillion to the previous figure. He wants to spend more area around infrastructure, road, rail, and other things as well. So the figure's gone much higher than was initially proposed. Now he's also adding the student housing program that will come from a 30 million euros foreign concessionary loan that has been talked about. His administration already had a student loan tuition fees on the table. Now it's adding housing to that. Glovo and NIPOST and a few others, including Nigeria's Ministry of Information, Communication and Innovation, yesterday held a forum in Lagos to discuss how to use digital infrastructure, physical and digital infrastructure to support e-commerce in logistics business in Nigeria. Glovo, that international organization in e-commerce, is expanding its footprints in Africa's most populous economy. That's Nigeria. In the meantime, Liberia, Gambia, and Sierra Leone have signed a free communications roaming deal if you are moving across that corridor, part of what will support intra-Africa trade. And you'll be thinking, when will the new Africa Energy Bank be floated in Nigeria, the brainchild of Afrexim Bank, as well as the APPO, the African Petroleum Producers Organization, and the African Union? Well, that has now been moved to mid-year. The initial schedule was for the inauguration to be done in the first quarter of the year, and it's been moved now to the middle of the year. We'll bring you the latest as we have it. The CEO at Anglo American in South Africa says the mining issues between the military junta in Mali and Barrick Gold, seizing gold, asking for more shares of the extractive resources in the country, is a cause for grave concern. He's adding his voice to the issues we're seeing in northern corridor of the West Africa here. Let's move on to the Southern Africa and, of course, the mining industry in Africa, according to NG Ayuk, the head of the African Energy Chamber, says, according to latest report, the industry in Africa is expected to reach $135 billion in market value by the year 2027, coming through with the compound annual growth rate of about 5.6%. In corporate news, Sasol, it says it issues a profit warning. It's looking at 36% decline in half-year profit because oil prices were lower. Sales volumes also declined for its half-year ended December 31st, 2024. In central bank in Mauritius raises interest rate to 4.5. That's under the new central bank governor. And South Africa is reporting a new vehicle sales surging 10.4% in January. Well, that's some positive news for South Africa, seeing huge youth unemployment. That is getting to be a source of serious concern for everyone in South Africa, Africa's most advanced economy. In Angola, next door, the western part of the Southern African region, the country is reviewing the bid for offshore block operations, while David Mugenzi has joined the Simbisa Brands, listed on the Zimbabwe Stock Exchange, as the new group finance director. Congratulations to him. Let's finish off in North Africa. Check a couple of headline news. The PMI, the Purchasing Managers Index, what you call the manufacturing data for Egypt, the biggest economy, was a positive 50.7 in the month of January. That's positive, but not strong enough, really, because non-oil private sector posted some growth. Let's see how that moves further. Morocco unions are calling for first general strike in the country in decades because they said they want higher wages. Morocco, however, says it's done an approval of 27 international agreements to boost cooperation and support the economy. And finally, out of that region, just want everyone to know that the Tel Aviv Stock Exchange is now moving or switching to Monday to Friday trading week in order to boost global flows. If you're interested in investing in the Israel Stock Exchange from the Northern African corridor and the rest of the continent, now trading has been switching to the regular or the standard Monday to Friday, and you can see how the market performed in that region. And those are your headlines as we get today started, the fourth trading day of the week, the 6th of February. I am Bosin Amafaya. I'll see you very soon. This is your Frontier Opening Bell.